Ryan Newman has joined us. Ryan's driving the number 31 Caterpillar Chevrolet for Richard Childress Racing. And he'll be lined up tomorrow night in the Sprint Unlimited. Former Daytona 500 winner. Ryan, talk about your outlook, obviously, with a new race team. Your outlook as you come into speed weeks.
Well, I'm excited as I'm sure you've heard a lot of people say, but from my position, it's a new situation for me in the essence that I'm going to a team that's already existing, a organization that's obviously been around, and it's kind of a different step in my career. When I started at Penske, we grew a team. When I went to Stewart-Haas, we put a bunch of people together, and now jumping into a seat that is just really just a driver swap is a different situation for me, and it's something I look forward to. Just to know that Richard Childress Racing is in control of their own destiny. For every part and every piece that goes on in the race cars is built at RCR. So one of a few organizations left that has that control, and I think that control makes a difference when you're going to race to be a champion. So just look forward to representing Caterpillar, and again, Quicken Loans and Wix Filters, and having some fun this year, and getting the opportunity to start the season out with the Unlimited race. Look forward to that tomorrow night.
Questions for Ryan Newman. We'll take a few. We'll go with Mike, and then we'll go down here to Lewis. Go ahead.
Mike Hember, USA Today. Ryan, tell us the story of your magical mystery tour to get here. When were you coming, and when did you finally get here? And was there sledding involved, or what happened?
No. Originally, we were supposed to take off at 10:30, and we had gotten verification from the pilots that the city of Statesville was going to be there 24 hours a day, no matter what, plowing the runway, making sure that we could taxi out and take off. And we ended up getting a whole bunch more snow than was ever forecasted, about 5 inches yesterday morning. And we had to wait, because of the way the temperature was, to roll the airplane out of the hangar after it stopped snowing, which gave us, it was about 12:30, I think, when the snow actually quit altogether. And for whatever reason, the trucks didn't get dispatched and get to the airport until 1:30. And we were scheduled to take off at 3 o'clock, which still would have got us here late, but closer to on time. And I showed up at the airport, and I ran the speed limit down the interstate. Everything was good. I mean, it was slushy. It was one lane, but you could still go a good speed. And I got to the airport and drove out onto the tarmac, got on the taxiway, and saw that it was a little bit slushy, and that there was a backhoe and a dump truck out there that was plowing. And I drove down the runway to the other end of the runway and saw that it was still snow-packed. There was not a spot on it that you could see asphalt. And after I got down the end of the runway, the dump truck was stuck, backed off the end of the runway. So I helped the guy hook the chain up with the backhoe after I broke my tow strap in my truck, and pulled the dump truck out, and basically just drove up and down the runway and broke the slush up and the ice up. And I think we ended up taking off right around 4:30 yesterday. So. It was Martin's plane, so I flew with Martin, and we had a couple other people on the plane, but that was the scheduled. I mean, we were all good to go except for Mother Nature had a last interruption, and then the city of Statesville didn't help us out.
Are you really concerned about missing the date with us and
all that? After you guys knowing that I've given you pretty much the same answers the last 10 years, I figured you might be able to just cut and paste a few things.
Let's go with Lewis.
Back here. Louis Frank of Reuters. Have you had a chance to talk with another new guy at RCR, Mike Coughlin? And do British engineers speak differently than American engineers?
No, it's still the same English language.
There you go. It's a little different dialect, right?
No, I'd say that there's maybe a little different twang in his voice compared to most of the people at the shop at RCR. But I have talked to him briefly. Mostly been having the most dialogue with Luke and a few of the different engineers, but not him directly so much.
Let's go over here to Mike Vega.
Ryan, Mike Vega, Boston Globe. Just wanted to ask you a little bit about just the novel approach that this season presents for not only for yourself, but for a lot of guys who are in new rides, new cars, new situations. Will it take some getting used to amongst the drivers to kind of sort out who's in what car and to kind of get that, and that roster kind of mentally down?
I think there's always a sense of that, no matter who moves around or the season or anything else. It's a matter of what your competition level is and how you perform compared to everybody else, and that might be different at intermediate tracks versus short tracks versus super speedways, and then you throw in road courses. But in the end, I think it doesn't take us very long to make that adaptation. And we've seen last year, especially with Matt Kenseth's move, that moving a driver into an existing team still gives him a great opportunity. And that doesn't mean it's going to happen every time or every season or with every driver, but it was a good example, at least, to say that yes, it can be done. And I look forward to all of this year. And when it comes to drafting, testing, and practicing here, it's about 2 laps, and we got a handle on who's around us and who's in what car and everything else. I mean, we pay somewhat attention to what most of you guys write to know and see. Look at a few pictures to see who's in what and what's in where.
Let's go to question here with Dwight.
Dwight from racetech.com. Right, as far as, a lot of times like football, a player moves on to a team and all of a sudden he's like, everything changes and they were struggling before, all of a sudden they turn into a superstar. Have you given that a thought as far as a move? You thinking that maybe it might be a boost?
Well, I mean, without a doubt, you'd hope that, but I don't think anybody ever looks at that and says, "Man, this is the path that I want to take, and I hope this happens." I just want to go out there and have fun with this group of guys, and know that we have the ultimate potential to win races and in a championship, and just have fun with it. I mean, that's really what it's all about. When it comes right down to it, anything you do to add stress is just, or have a path of expectations, I think, is just kind of give yourself a potential for misguidance. So just go out there and have fun and do your job. I mean, it's, in the end, as simple as it sounds, we're still just driving a car in a circle.
David, right here. Raise your hand there, David. Allison.
In kind of that same vein, you look at the year Kenseth had last year. Kyle had one of his best years when he made the move from Hendrick to Gibbs. You look at Kurt last year. I mean, is there something to be said about a new environment and how it reinvigorates maybe a driver and how it perhaps can help, lead to all that kind of stuff, or is that just a coincidence?
Yeah, I mean, change is good if you have the right mentality. It was probably not good for those people that came out of those seats and went someplace else. So we never talked about that. So I mean, there's equal and opposites in every reaction. So I just want to go out there and have fun with these guys. I know and I've seen what Luke is capable of with Jeff Burton and Elliott Sadler in his past, and the guys on the team, or that core group of guys kept with them, stayed with them, and we just need to go out there and have some fun. I just it's really all about and Jimmy's standing over there. He can talk about it a little bit more about the chemistry and the people that you have around you that makes a world of difference. So I mean, if they can be a great group of guys and I can mesh correctly and I can mesh incorrectly with them, we don't know that until we get a few races under our belt. But as of right now, I'd say the testing that we've done, I'm super excited about this opportunity and the opportunity that Richard Childress has given me.
Final question right here, Tom. Raise your hand.
Hi, Ryan. Tom Jensen, FoxSports.com. What should we look for tomorrow night? What do you expect in the way of a race?
Yeah, it's kind of what I was talking to Luke about before practice here was, I just want to get a good feel for the race car and then use the experience tomorrow night to figure out what I have to do to put my car in position to win. I think that practice is still practice. It's not like Martinsville or Charlotte where who's really got a fast race car. It's more about more of a chess match of putting yourself in the right position to make the move, and that can be a matter of the driver doing that or the crew chief doing that on a pit call or whatever. So I think my race tomorrow night will, about halfway through, if I could answer your question, I can give you a better answer.
Okay, we're going to do 2 more. Dustin, and then we'll finish with Don Coble.
Dustin Long, MRN.com. Ryan, with moving over to RCR, does that give you a different perspective in the sense of with the 3-car returning? I mean, obviously you know the history and everything, but does that give you a little bit different just to kind of see it from the inside with that car coming back?
Well, I mean, there's no RCR answer that says this is the answer we should give you guys. To me, it's about a number, and it's about a number in combination with the driver. And our sport is entirely different than other sports with respect to numbers, because there's only 43 drivers, let's say, that really compete. So, and it's I'm not sure if I've answered you or anybody else this way before, but that number was Dale Earnhardt's number. That number was also Ricky Rudd's number and Richard Childress's number, and just so happens Dale Earnhardt made it the most famous. Austin Dillon now has his chance to make it the most famous, no different than Dale Earnhardt did. So, I mean, there's a lot of respect, I think, that goes both ways, no doubt. But I don't want anybody to take offense in me saying that it's just a number, but it's just a number up until the point that somebody makes it famous, and then somebody's got to have the chance to outdo that. It's competition. It's fun.
Final question, Don.
Yes, Don Coble with Morris News Service. You want to get that? Oh, I know.
You can have fun with it. Go ahead, hit speaker.
In preparing for tomorrow night's race, how do you prepare for a race when you don't know what the format's going to be yet?
I mean, no, that's a good question, and a good question for everybody. But I think that you don't really know until you get some experience under your belt, and that's why I said to Tom, it's just a matter of figuring out how good your car is, how easy it is to pass, how difficult it is to pass, how many cars are left after a certain segment or whatever it is, just to know what the competition is going to be like. So it's really just a wing it race, so to speak, in the essence of you don't know that it's a. I mean, you know how many laps it is, but you don't know how the competition is going to lay out, and that's why the crew chiefs and the teams are a big part of that perspective and that part of the race.
Ryan, good luck during the speed weeks.
Thank you, guys. Sorry I was late yesterday.